What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex. You are watching the Ragin Nation show. This is just a web series where we talk about all things that matter to me in the world of movies. We have a lot to talk about in this episode. We're going to cover 2 weeks worth of movie updates. So let's get started with a little bit of chat and talk about Beverly Hills Cop 4. That would be the 4th installment in the Beverly Hills Cop franchise. The last one that came out was in the 90s, Beverly Hills Cop 3. But that one wasn't very good. In fact, it was the worst out of the franchise because it was not produced by Jerry Bruckheimer, so therefore the level of action in the film was just kind of watered down and it really wasn't as great as it could have been. But this time Jerry Bruckheimer is back to be producing, and they have a tentative release date for March 25th, 2016. So 2 years from now, we could see Axel Foley back as Eddie Murphy. I mean, the other way around. This time around, Rush Hour director Brett Ratner is directing, and it looks like, he's no stranger to the whole buddy cop genre, so I think he'll do a pretty good job directing Beverly Hills Cop 4, so I'm looking forward to that. Once again, Beverly Hills Cop 4 is coming on March 25th, 2016. Now, speaking of another buddy cop franchise, looks like Lethal Weapon is getting the remake and possible reboot treatment because there's a rumor going on mentioning that Chris Hemsworth could be playing Lieutenant Riggs. That was originally played by Mel Gibson in the original Lethal Weapon series. Hey, what do you think about Chris Hemsworth playing the role that was originally played by Mel Gibson? You know what? When I put a photo of Chris Hemsworth next to a photo of Mel Gibson in his younger years, I can kind of see that happening. I can see Chris Hemsworth pulling that off. Now, will he be as funny as Riggs? Who knows? But are you guys ready for a Lethal Weapon remake? Let me know in the comments section below. I never actually thought they would actually do something like that. But looks like buddy cop films are coming back. I mean, it's possible Bad Boys 3 is happening. Jerry Bruckheimer is also producing that. It just depends on Will Smith's schedule. Obviously, Beverly Hills Cop 4 is happening. And now a rumor of a Lethal Weapon remake. Alright, what do you guys think about that? Anyways, moving on. In the world of action movie news and sequels, you guys remember Olympus Has Fallen? It was the movie where Gerard Butler was fighting off North Korean terrorists invading the White House. Well, looks like a sequel is happening, and this time they're calling it London Has Fallen. So it looks like terrorists are going to be taking over London, England. So most likely, I think they're going to be taking over the Parliament building. So that's going to be very interesting. Gerard Butler is back to reprise his role. Aaron Eckhart will be back as well. Probably he's going to be going on some kind of a treaty, as the U.S. president to England, where he has to meet with the English. I mean the English president. Or the English president. Do they have presidents in England? I don't even know. But anyways, he's out for a political thing. Gerard Butler is he's back as a Secret Service agent, and now he has to fight off terrorists in the international front. Now they have a release date for London Has Fallen, and that is October 2nd. 2015. So next year we're getting a sequel to Olympus Has Fallen, but there's no word on whether Antoine Fuqua, the director of the original, is going to be coming back to direct. I would like him to direct. I like Antoine Fuqua as a director. I think he's a great action movie director, and it would be nice to have him back. All right, moving on. Let's talk about Power Rangers. What is there really to talk about with regards to Power Rangers? We haven't heard anything about Power Rangers for a very long time. Both as as a TV show, and now it's being talked about as a film because Lionsgate Studios and Saban will be working together to produce a live-action feature-length film of the Power Rangers. Now, Power Rangers in the TV series has gone through many versions of itself. You know, it wasn't just the first version that we saw, but there's like many like series that came after that. So, you know, they have a lot of source material to draw from. So the big question is, which series is it going to be based off of? Or is it going to be kind of like Transformers, where it's going to be like taking a little bit of every bit of the mythos? So anything could happen, but the word out there is that a live-action feature-length Power Rangers film is happening. Now, when I think of a live-action Power Rangers film, the first director I can think of is Michael Bay, but it's not a Michael Bay it's not a Michael Bay film. Although it feels like it could have been a Michael Bay film. Afterwards, they're taking a kids' TV series and making it into a film. I mean, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, there's going to be martial arts in it, and like Transformers, there's going to be robots in it. So, you know, the first thing you're thinking of is Michael Bay directing this film? Is this a Michael Bay production? Actually, it's not. I mean, it is a Lionsgate Studios film, so Michael Bay hasn't ever worked with Lionsgate before. So who knows who's going to be directing it? But the fact is that it is happening. All right. So what do the Power Rangers fans got to say about that? And who do you want to see direct this film? All right. Let me know in the comment section below. Now let's talk about James Cameron news that is not Avatar related, and that is writer David S. Goyer, who wrote movies like Blade. The Blade franchise, and also the Dark Knight franchise. David S. Goyer is going to be working as an executive producer and writer for James Cameron's Fantastic Voyage remake. Now, James Cameron isn't going to be directing the Fantastic Voyage, but he will be serving as a producer. You know what? This project has been tossed around for a very, very long time, but it looks like it is moving forward finally. And, you know, with a movie like Fantastic Voyage, it looks like James Cameron's going to have a lot of his fingerprints in this film, but it's also definitely going to be a 3D film. You know James Cameron, and he loves 3D, and he pretty much pioneered the entire format. He almost like invented the format. Moving on, another thing we got to talk about with regards to James Cameron Productions is that Avatar 2, 3, and 4 is going to have Sigourney Weaver back. Can you believe that? Sigourney Weaver died in Avatar. It looks like they're bringing her back. And I'm thinking that, I guess they could bring her back because, you know, they could have her back, you know, as like as an avatar. Like they could take the essence of her, like the DNA of her, and bring her back to life, kind of like how they brought her back in Alien Resurrection. They could take that exact same formula and make it happen for Avatar 2, 3, and 4. Apparently, she's on for the sequels. She's coming back for the sequels, and she mentioned that, and she isn't allowed to say a whole lot, but she says that every time she comes back, she's gonna like be different. All right, so you know what? I don't know what to say to that. It's kind of vague, but it also sounds very interesting. Now, let's talk about what's going on with Star Trek 3. The third installment of Star Trek is about to move forward. Now, Roberto Orci separated from his producing and writing partner, Alex Kurtzman. They're no longer working together after the Spider-Man films, okay? So what's happening after the Spider-Man films is that Roberto Orci is negotiating to direct Star Trek 3. Now, Alex Kurtzman is not on board to do any writing duties. Instead, they got who is it? Patrick McKay and J.D. Payne, who will be handling the screenwriting duties. This will be Roberto Orci's first production without his partner, Alex Kurtzman. So that's going to be very interesting. But anyways, there's no specific date on when the third installment of Star Trek is going to be happening. But I'm going to go out and say that we're going to see Star Trek 3 in 2016. May of 2016. Because 2016 marks the 50th anniversary of Star Trek. Alright? Gene Roddenberry created Star Trek 50 years ago. And to celebrate Star Trek's 50th anniversary, they should have a third Star Trek film come out. So I'm going to go out and say that Star Trek is coming out in summer of 2016, which means we should be hearing an announcement about who's going to be the director for Star Trek 3 very, very soon, which most likely is going to be Roberto Orci. All right, so there you have it. Finally, the last thing we got to talk about is another big science fiction franchise, and you already know what that is, and that is Star Wars. Now, Star Wars Episode 7 is underway in production, but let's talk about some Star Wars spin-off films. And CEO of Disney, Bob Iger, mentions that there are at least 3 non-saga Star Wars films in the works. So what that means is that there are going to be at least 3 films that take place in the Star Wars universe, possibly the expanded universe, but they don't actually tie in with the saga, which means it has nothing to do with episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? So these are kind of like spin-off films. These are covering characters that we might not have ever heard of, or characters that were in the saga, but they were just background characters, alright? So that's going to be pretty crazy. Now, they have Star Wars spin-off films, non-saga films, scheduled for release in 2016, 2018, and 2019. And that is actually very interesting because we don't even know when Episode 8 and Episode 9 are coming. We only know that Episode 7 is coming in 2015, next year. But no word on the other 2 sequels. So there you have it. That's all I got to say. Oh yeah, by the way, I got to let you guys know that the working title for Star Wars Episode 7 is called The Ancient Fear. That kind of reminds me of the titles for Episode 4 and Episode 1. Episode 4 is called A New Hope. Episode 4 is called The Phantom Menace. And in fact, it really reminds me of The Phantom Menace. The Ancient Fear. Think about that. That could very well be the title. I mean, it sounds like a Lucas-style title for a Star Wars film. Anyways, that's all I got to say in this video. As always, if you have anything to comment about, let me know your thoughts and feelings on the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation, follow me on Twitter at Ragin Nation. Also check out my photos and videos on Instagram at The Ragin Nation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. Even though it's the exact same thing, we as Western audiences, we have different expectations, and the action just isn't having